Hello, friends and family. Twins on Wheels here. Thank you for subscribing and for all your support. And today, we want to share with you some ideas that, and some experience for builders and for anyone who wants to think about the future. Accessibility can be for anyone to make it easier on themselves.
Yes, as we've been out in the community, Alberta, we've learned that accessibility goes a long way. And one of the things we want to talk about, Alberta, is we want builders and anyone to keep in mind that wherever I go, you can go, but not wherever you go, I can go. And Alberta also, we've been to, when we go to Project Walk and we meet with people, we've learned that you're not only born with a physical impairment, you could also be, your life can change because of an accident or something that happens later on. And then if your house is not accessible, it's harder to do things. So, and we've met with a lot of people whose lives have changed from one day to another because it's gotten difficult because of an accident and different reasons. And that's why we want to talk to everyone about how important it is to make life easier for yourselves and make life easier for tomorrow and for anyone. And we also want to say that it also states in the Americans with Disabilities Act that when you go to build a commercial building, the law states that you must have accessibility for all. You don't even have to be in a wheelchair to have accessibility. We've learned from different experiences, Alberta, how people can't it's harder for people to get in and out of their houses and move around because life changes as years go by, and they build the house thinking one way and then tomorrow their life changes. So we want builders and people who are planning to build for the future and to think about the future, think about tomorrow. Picture yourself. How would you feel if you could not go up a stairs? Or how would you feel if life was easier if you could push your furniture up a ramp? It's not a big deal to have. It makes a big difference when you have accessibility, Alberto. And like you said, you don't have to be in a wheelchair to be accessible. It makes life easy for everyone. If you need to move furniture around, it's great to have a ramp and one of the entrances to get in and out. We've learned that it's great for safety over the years. And we want to call on builders and people who are thinking about the future to think about these things, right, Alberta?
Yes, and not, we've also have noticed in the city that there are certain areas that are very narrow in space. So we usually have to navigate through the narrow areas.
An open space makes a big difference. So wherever it's possible, it's good to have open space in restaurants, and we want everyone to feel included and everyone to remember that today it's us, tomorrow it can be you. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And to builders, always keep this in mind. Wherever we go, you can go. But wherever you go, we can't go. And how would you feel if you were in our situation? How would you feel if you could not get around because you could not go up the stairs anymore? It's not all about luxury, Alberto, and being fancy. You gotta be comfortable too, right?
Yes, and another thing that we want to talk about is when we go to restaurants, people automatically assume, some people automatically assume that we cannot drink out of a normal cup, that we need the smaller cups.
Or that we cannot hold a glass cup. And that is very uncomfortable to see how people just assume it's okay to ask if we would prefer to drink out of a different cup, because we understand not everybody is the same. But what we feel is not okay is to automatically assume that we cannot drink out of a normal cup or use the same utensils that our mom or someone else uses just because of our situation. We believe that it's time for people to wake up and be aware of how we feel. How would you feel if you were in our situation?
And anyone who wants to understand, put yourself in our situation. How would you feel if you were treated differently just because of any situation that you have?
How would you feel if somebody assumed that you could not drink out of a glass cup, or that you needed a plastic cup with a straw just because of the way you get around, or just because you may look different from others? It is time for people to wake up and understand that a disability or a physical impairment does not mean that we are not people, and does not mean that we don't have feelings. And if you don't understand what we are talking about, just take a moment like my brother said, and meditate. How would you feel if you were in our situation? How would you feel if someone just assumed that you needed something without asking?
A lot of times, because sometimes there's no open space in the city, we usually use what's a parking garage and have to walk a distance.
And it is important for anyone who deals with parking, who works at a restaurant, who works at any business,
Even valet parking too.
to remember that we are all human, and if you don't understand, just take a moment and meditate. Put yourself in our shoes. How would you feel if you were in our situation? That's the big question that we should all ask ourselves when we don't understand something.
And it's okay to walk up and ask.
You don't offend by asking. Where we do get bothered is when people automatically assume because they don't want to ask.
So with this, we want to tell everyone to please continue to subscribe and like our videos, and thank you for your support.
Your support helps us go a long way. And please remember, it's okay to ask. It's okay. Be aware. We love you.
God bless.